Alright, so to be honest, I have no knowledge of He-Man, so bear with me in this review because I just kind of went into this one blind and had a good time, so let's just dive right into it. Everyone's saying Masters of the Universe is bombing at the box office, and they may not be completely wrong. But I went this last Sunday, and sure it was 11 a.m., but the theater was packed, and a ton of kids were there, their families, obviously, their dads probably grew up on He-Man, and it just seemed like everyone had a good time. So it's really unfortunate that it's not doing as strong as Amazon had hoped for, I guess, but what can you do, right? These films are kind of a hit or miss, especially for an IP that's from the 80s, very far from the generations of today. For example, I grew up in the era after, so I kind of had the Ninja Turtles, right? So He-Man was not my thing. In fact, I only went to go see this film for Alison Brie, because once I found out she was in it and I saw her in the trailers, I had to go check this out because she's been killing it, and it's honestly cool to see her in a different kind of role. But, you know, it's just one of those things. Oh, I also almost didn't see this film because of Jared Leto, though, but he's completely like transformed in this film, obviously as Skeletor, and it was probably the best thing that they could have ever done because he's so far from Jared Leto in this role that you kind of forget that it's even him. That's really to be my honest opinion on that. Alright, so quick plot summary of the film. The film follows Prince Adam as he returns to Eternia to take on his destiny as He-Man as he saves his home from Skeletor and Evil-Lyn. I really enjoyed the way the film started. It kind of threw you into this world, and with so much lore and history behind He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, you would think you'd be overwhelmed, but the film does a really quick job in explaining everything and just throwing you right into the action. So what I did like about the film is how they slowly had Adam learn that he was He-Man and how he was powerful. So like at the beginning, you're on Earth with Adam, and he's explaining to everyone he's from Eternia and he's on the search for the power sword, and obviously like when he finally discovers it, I guess he sends a signal to his home planet, and Teela shows up looking for him, and the action starts right there. Once he gets the power sword, there are funny moments where his clothes gets ripped off and he gets completely like clothed by like his armor or whatever, and he's just slowly discovering that he's just strong, right? That he's powerful, that he's He-Man, and it's obviously his first interactions with Trapjaw, one of the villains that work for Skeletor, and they're having like a fight on a bridge, and like I don't really know, but it just goes to show you that not knowing anything about this it just all sounds insane, but it was obviously entertaining. So like a few other things are Alison Brie, of course, as Evil-Lyn. It was really fun to watch because clearly she's really great at comedy, and she brought a lot of that into this role and was able to deliver a lot of lines, with Skeletor to make it funny, pretty much. All right, so a few things I didn't like. I feel like the film's a little bit dated, and I mean that in the sense of humor, because like there are a few jokes that didn't land with me. They kind of felt a bit forced and like kind of almost like cheesy. It kind of obviously seems that they were trying to capture the humor that James Gunn has brought to the Guardians of the Galaxy and Superman, and they felt like this would kind of work for this IP. And I don't think they were necessarily wrong with this approach, considering this is an older IP and they were trying to maybe connect with the younger audiences. But it also felt like they weren't trying to do anything new, and they were just kind of relying on these jokes that they felt would really land, and if that makes sense. And then for me, it just kind of like took away from the movie at times. Obviously, there are moments that are funny. Some of them came naturally from the performances of like Alison Brie or Nicholas Galitzine. Even Jared Leto was hysterical as Skeletor during some of these moments. And so when some other jokes were kind of like thrown in at moments, it just kind of like diminishes the quality of, I guess, the film at that point, if that makes any sense. I also felt that the pacing was a bit long. The runtime is 2 hours and 20 minutes, and I feel like you could definitely cut out 20 minutes here and there if you chop it up, because there are certain parts where I felt like were dragging. So like in between a lot of action sequences, they would have quieter moments in the film, and some of those moments kind of felt like unnecessary. Like you could have like maybe combined 2 or 3 and make it into like one moment at the end of the film or something. It just felt like it was a bit long. So I mean, there wasn't much to hate on this film, obviously. Since I didn't really have high expectations, or I didn't really expect much, I didn't have like this passion and love for He-Man. I went into this blind and I wanted to have fun, and that's what I got. I got a fun film out of it. So yeah, it's unfortunate for the film that maybe the trailers didn't really sell this movie, but if you go into this movie blind, you'll probably end up having a good time. And honestly, that's what summer blockbusters, and all these summer films are for. You know, it's supposed to be somewhere you can escape and go have a good time and enjoy yourself and maybe not take yourself so seriously, right? So maybe that's why they went the way they did with this film. And maybe you should go check it out and see if you like it for yourself, because clearly critics and stuff can most of the time are wrong when it comes to movies, right? And this is a clear example that maybe even though it's an older IP, there's still some life left in the He-Man Masters of the Universe franchise. So yeah, this is pretty much my review on the film. I'll see you in the next one. If you haven't liked and subscribed to the channel, please do so, because I'm trying to make more of these and I want to keep going, but I want an audience. I want, you know, people out there that actually enjoy these and maybe give me some feedback to improve and all that stuff, right? So yeah, that's pretty much it. Have a good one. See you in the next one. Oh, Disclosure is the next film. I'm excited for that one. So look out for that video. All right.